computer. All right, so we're recording now. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Ain't Nothing But a Schwing Thing. I'm your commish. Happy to be joined by Cali Style, JD. Now, Sean, you're gonna have to tell me. Oh, and JD, why haven't you haven't changed your avatar yet? You still have the robot. I don't see pizza up
Wait,
there.
what?
JD, did you accept pizza? Pizza?
Yeah, I did. I went on there and
You haven't updated him yet. You're still the robot. So I'd like to see Pizza show up. And then Sean, what do you got?
See what I can do about it.
You're Portland Ducks now, Sean, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so Sean,
Portland Ducks.
Sean 88. Is that your birth year?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, man. God. Okay. And then
88.
Losing for Lawrence. I love that. That's still hilarious to me as the Mahomes.
Yeah.
So how you guys doing?
In a single QB league.
Trade bait.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do 3 parts tonight. We're going to do the fantasy players that burned us. Then we're going to do a little keep trade cut. And then we're going to do a draft of players we'd like to spend quarantine with. So part 1 tonight is going to be the fantasy players that burned us in the past. Let's just start with Daryl. This was your idea. So who do you got? Who's your first player?
Yes, my first Hall of Fame player, and he's actually still on my roster, Marvin Jones Jr.
Ooh.
I don't know. And this is no disrespect to the mental health community, but sometimes I think he must be bipolar, or he's taking some kind of medication, and some weeks he takes it, other weeks he doesn't, because it's just I can never figure him out. What week to start him, and it's always been whatever week I start him, he's trash, and then the week he's on the bench, he's like a wide receiver 2 or 3 or something, like, as far as rankings go. So that's who I had in mind when I mentioned that comment, and that's who I'm sticking with. Marvin Jones.
So that's for this league player that burned you in this league, yeah? Or do you have him on other leagues as well?
I think I did have him in the other league, and I let him go. But yeah, right now Marvin Jones is the one that's killing me.
There's fantasy football consistency rankings out there on certain different websites, and he is always like one of the high risk players. Like, you just don't know most inconsistent players in the NFL. Because I had him a couple years ago, and that was a more consistent year for him. And he was amazing. It was incredible. He was so good. He did have his stinker games, but yeah, you keep waiting for him to be consistent and awesome. So
right,
yeah. JD, who you got? Who's burned you?
For my current roster, and he's still on my roster, I would have to go with AJ Green.
Oh,
yeah,
and,
AJ Green. Oh,
and it wasn't. I guess you can't predict injuries or nothing, but sitting out a whole season, and he's like my top receiver, because I have a shitty receiver core. That kind of put me behind the 8 ball. So I'm gonna have to go with AJ Green. I don't know what he's gonna do going forward, because coming off an injury, I don't know if he's still like one of my top receivers on my roster. So
I'm looking at you got Adam Thielen, Jarvis Landry, AJ Green, and Julian Edelman. I mean, I can't imagine a less consistent. Actually, Jarvis Landry was amazing consistent last year. Jarvis Landry was very consistent, but
Jarvis Landry was my man.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, it's
Thielen is consistent when he's on the field, but he was injured for 7 of the 16 games, I believe.
Yeah,
which took him out of it, and then Green, and then my whole roster shot. Well, I think I'm gonna just do a rebuild in the middle of the season and just cut everybody and put 10 kickers on my shit and just go with that. See what I can do. If you can put kickers in the flex, I'll just go with that.
You have the greatest.
Wait, I thought this was a 9 kicker league. We could do 10.
Yeah,
I didn't know we could do 10.
From your flex. Yeah, JD, you have like the greatest 2018 roster I could imagine. I mean, 2017, 2018, your roster would have been incredible. I mean,
it would have been the best.
Devonta Freeman.
Right now, Right now, I have 5 running backs that don't even have a team right now. They're just a bunch of. I have a free agent team. If we're doing a pickup game, I would whoop everybody's ass. This is the NFL, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing too hot this season.
Doing a free agent.
It's gonna be a tough one.
Pickup league. That's. Yeah, I'm looking at your roster. You have a bunch of people still looking for spots. That's.
Because I got Melvin Gordon and Todd Gurley, which who knows what they're gonna be this season.
Yeah,
man. I'm just looking at your draft, like your initial draft, and Gurley, Gordon, AJ Green, Adam Thielen, Jarvis Landry, Devonta Freeman, Aaron Rodgers, Hunter Henry. Yeah,
man,
it looks beautiful on paper. It looks awesome.
All right, Sean.
You go back in that DeLorean and like pick that team like 3 years ago.
That's right.
Like, I feel like Biff. Like I read the almanac. I got it right.
Yeah, you still have Gio Bernard on your roster too. I didn't realize that. Now this is truly a team of the past here a little bit. Adrian Peterson. Yeah, this is an incredible like memory roster. That's great memory.
It's a throwback roster. You know, I like to.
Wow.
Old nostalgia.
Like the guy who retired from fantasy football for 4 years and came back and was like, I like these guys. I remember them. They were great.
Those guys are amazing.
All right. Who do you have? Who's a bird?
I'm going to go with a different fantasy league that I'm in. But I took Corey Davis in another dynasty league as my first round pick. And I don't remember where in the draft I picked him. I just remember staring at him for the next 3 years, being like, this guy is garbage. Can I cut him? And I went back and I looked at other guys in that draft. Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, Mike Williams, Dalvin Cook. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that wrecked me for a long time because Corey Davis is straight garbage.
Yeah.
Like this overall pick, wasn't he?
He was third.
Terrible.
He
was third?
God, third pick, I think. Amazing.
It's just been garbage.
I mean, when the NFL misses that badly on a receiver, you know it's hard for us. I mean, when the real are struggling that much, that's
Like a top 5 pick outside of a quarterback should be a lock, and no dice. He's terrible.
Yeah, that draft, that was an amazing running back draft. That was Daryl and JD. That's when we started in the Rusty Kuntz League. And and that was our startup league, and I got Fournette and Christian McCaffrey in rounds 1 and 2. So I still have McCaffrey. I dropped Fournette.
Damn.
That McCaffrey pickup propelled me to the championship in that league this year. But that was a hell of a running back class with Dalvin Cook in there too. I think someone took Dalvin Cook right before I took Fournette and then McCaffrey because I had on the turn. So, and I wanted Cook, but I'll take it. I'll take it how it turned out. So, yeah, taking Corey Davis that year. Oh, man. Mine's from 2017. It's Carson Wentz. And it's not that he was terrible. He was so good. But that was my best. This is in my Yahoo league with my brother, a league that I've never won, really want to win. And I was playing the championship against this guy I can't stand. My brother and I, Adam feels the same way about him. It's a guy that all of us want to beat every year, just a punk. And I had a great team. I mean, I was number 1 in the league. I had an amazing season. And then I scored our league about 230 to 240 points is a good week, a really good week. I scored about 290 the week before the championship. Carson Wentz gets hurt. Lev Bell doesn't show up for the championship. I scored 170 points in the championship and lost. The lowest point total I had all year and lost that game. And that was the closest I've gotten in that league. So and Carson Wentz was amazing, but then he's had that injury. It's like I don't want to say he's injury prone, but he because he played the whole season last year, but he does seem to get beat up. So I'm a little burned on him. That's my number. So, anyone else? Do you guys have anyone else you want to share? Just one?
No.
No, Daryl. I thought you would have brought up Antonio Brown.
Oh yeah.
I remember us talking about him before the season.
The 11th pick in our league, man.
Well, he's still on there, and at this point, I guess I should cut him loose. But I think there's some other people on other teams that probably should get cut before I cut him. So once they cut those players, then
You're waiting for the Andrew
line up. Yeah. Once Andrew's gone, then I'll cut Antonio.
Well,
but actually, JD, I'm glad you said that, because thinking about it, I would have had a really good wide receiver. I might have actually had the number 1 wide receiver for this year. Might have beat you out, David. But Antonio's on my bench, so what can I do about that?
Yeah, if you have Robert Woods, Antonio, and Tyreek Hill, I mean, yeah, that's hard to beat. That's a top 3 that it'd be hard to overlook. And then Marvin Jones, yeah. Then you got Marvin Jones down there.
And then Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones.
All right, cool. Part 2. We're going to go into a little keep, trade, cut. This is probably going to be like the longest. Well, it might be. I don't know. The longest part of the show. So the idea here is I'm going to give you 3 players from each team. Your goal is to make the team as strong as possible. Now, none of these are starters. I didn't give any of the starting lineups that are currently in. So I went to the bench and tried to pick 3 players that if you were put into a tough position, you had to keep one, trade one, and cut one. What would make your team better? So we're going to start with my team just because, just as like a trial run. I'm not going to have any, say in this one. So I went to my team and I looked at the bench and I chose Jameis Winston, Chris Herndon, and Ryan Tannehill. So you got 3 players, 2 quarterbacks, 1 tight end. How do you make your team better if you're looking at keep, trade, cut with Jameis, Chris Herndon, and Ryan Tannehill? Who do you keep? Who do you trade? Who do you cut? Let's go in reverse order here and start with Sean on this one.
I like Winston's off-season LASIK surgery. I think that's going to help him a lot in the future if he can see downfield a little bit better. But I think actually here what I do is I'm going to keep Chris Herndon. I'm going to trade Tannehill, and I'm going to cut Winston. I don't like Winston's prospects. And I think Tannehill has a better trade upside. And Herndon is the only guy on there that I think is really worth keeping.
JD?
I'd have to agree. Depending on who the starting quarterback was, I don't think Drew Brees. I don't think he's going to miss any games. He usually doesn't. He's pretty consistent at the quarterback position. So, last season I think.
Yeah, he missed a few games this
year.
Aaron,
who was his backup?
Bridgewater.
Bridgewater. I think he got in for about 4 games and he did pretty decent, but I think that's going to be about it But I think he may have some trade value. So I may reverse with Tannehill and Jameis Winston, but definitely keep the tight end position. You can never have too many flex dudes.
Anything contrarian to them to say on that one? No. So what do you guys – okay, Chris Herndon, now he is on my roster, and I have kept him, keep waiting for him to come back. There is some fear in me that, he's never going to come back. He just keeps getting suspended or injured. Now, if it's looking at Jameis and Tannehill, does the age matter to you guys between Jameis and Tannehill? The fact that so all of these positions, you can count that the starter that I tried to choose, the starter was clearly better than them,
right.
Better prospect. But if that guy goes down long-term for one reason or another, who do you like, 3 years from now, Jameis Winston or Ryan Tannehill?
Oh, Winston. But not by much.
Yeah, Winston.
Okay. So you guys believe that there is a career for Jameis Winston as a starter in the future still?
I think he's got the highest upside.
Okay, cool.
I think Drew Brees, this may be Drew Brees' last season. And I think if Jameis Winston comes in the preseason, does pretty decent, and maybe steps in 1 or 2 games, he may be the heir apparent there in New Orleans. So,
do you guys buy
a bigger
Hill?
Yeah, I'm not sold on Hill yet.
29-year-old quarterback with 17 career passes. Is he?
I heard he's the future.
Not so.
Yeah, exactly. That's almost like JD's team. Like, this guy's the future. he's 30 years old, but he's the future. Yeah, that's what I just don't. It's such a weird situation with Jameis there, and I don't know. The LASIK surgery will be interesting to see. I hope he gets playing time this year, so that because he is. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him yet, but I do hope he gets some playing time.
He threw for over 5,000 yards last season. I mean,
was it like 30?
He could throw the ball.
30 something picks though too.
He was almost. But dude, if he's blind,
those yards were from defenders.
That's good numbers for someone who's blind.
Yeah.
But if
guy can't see, throws 30 touchdowns. I couldn't throw 30 touchdowns, and I can see. I've got good vision.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. If the surgery, if the surgery took, then even if he drops that interception number by a third, maybe more than that. But I'm saying if you drop it by a third, that puts it in a whole nother category, I would think.
So. But in truth, on my roster, these guys are all keeps. I think I've set my roster up right. I'm going to try to keep all three of these guys, but it is different. It is interesting to look at the if pushed into that position, how we value players. Looking at Mark's roster, 3 running backs: Royce Freeman, Ronald Jones, and Mark Ingram. Keep, trade, cut.
Did Royce,
Ingram, Jones, and Mark Ingram. So you got the aged Mark Ingram, who was awesome last year. They brought in J.K. Dobbins. Ronald Jones, who started to flash. And Royce Freeman seems like the easy cut here, but, it was sort of like a weird group of running backs sitting right in the middle of his bench. So I went with those 3. JD, you want to start?
Those 3, I think you might want to trade Ingram. I think right now he's got some value. He's coming off a decent season in Baltimore. I think he's probably had the best season of those 3. Right now, you could probably, I don't know, probably get some value for him. Maybe somebody you can put in your flex. The other 2, let me see, who was it?
Royce Freeman and Ronald Jones.
You said Royce Freeman, right?
Yeah, Royce Freeman. I don't know. I would
feel like he's a guy who could
keep. I would keep him.
Keep him.
Keep him, and then
I feel like he could benefit in real life. Like, he needs a different team, not Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay ahead of him.
Yeah.
But that's where he's stuck right now. So you're not a Ronald Jones believer then? Mr. USC is keeping the Ducks.
No, yeah, I said get rid. I said we would trade. I would trade Ingram, keep Jones.
Oh, keep Jones. I think you said keep Freeman. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram, you think about the timeshares he's been in. And for his age, he still looked so healthy and so elusive last year. Like, you don't think of him as elusive, but he is. He has been. And I believe he could have another couple of years of high productivity in him.
I mean, I think so too, but they also just drafted what's his face in the second round who fits that scheme real well, and I think they'll probably end up cutting Ingram in the next year. I think his contract. I think he's got another 2 years on his contract, but I think they got an easy out after next year.
Yeah,
that makes it like real obvious what they're doing.
If Mark Ingram can find success with Alvin Kamara sharing a backfield with him, then I think he can still have, especially, with this the Baltimore's offense is so good and they're so run oriented. I don't see any reason those guys can both get over 200 touches. I think I would cut Freeman. I think I'd keep Mark Ingram, especially with the way my roster is built right now. I don't really want Ronald Jones. So I think I would try to trade Ronald Jones and keep Mark Ingram. Try for the championship now. Another one.
That's a good move.
What about you, Derek?
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. Sean brought up a pretty good point about Freeman and where he lines up on the depth chart, and Ingram. I'd probably, like if I were looking at my own team, I'd probably keep Ingram. I'd try to trade Jones, and then I'd cut Freeman.
It definitely seems like are you rebuilding or are you competing this year? Sort of a decision based on that. All right, cool. Next up on our list is JD's team. This is a weird group of three. I got a weird group of 20 on my squad. Whenever there's a weird group of three, I had trouble picking three that were worth talking about. And also weren't automatic like, okay, you got it. Those are starters right there. I mean, so Devontae Freeman, Taysom Hill, and Carlos Hyde. Keep trade cut. Let's start with Daryl this time.
You said Devontae Freeman, Carlos Hyde, and who was the third one?
Taysom Hill. So that's again, what do you believe?
I don't even know why Taysom Hill's on my roster. I like Taysom Hill as a player. I wish I could put him in my flex.
They need to put
quarterback.
They need to put.
But he plays in every other position, and he puts up more. He puts up more points than any of my flex players.
Yeah.
But I got him as a quarterback, so I can't play him.
I think it was ESPN might have added the tight end designation to him, and I think Sleeper's going to this offseason too, so he might be able to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he might be able to line up in the flex this year. It makes me want to do a super flex for that kind of reason, but then it just becomes a 2 quarterback. Right. That's all. And I'm in 2 quarterback leagues already, and they're fun, but yeah. So all right. So we got a Daryl.
So wait. So where did Freeman end up? Is he?
He is a free agent, and he's
still a free agent. Okay.
He had an offer from was it Seattle or Philadelphia? One of them offered him. He didn't like it.
I think maybe even both of them. Like he was getting looked at a couple places.
And so
he said it wasn't enough money.
It was like he's waiting till someone like a running back gets hurt. He's waiting for one of those fall camp. Someone gets hurt, they sign him. He said he was going to hold out. I don't know who he thinks he is. Like if you hold out when you're Devontae Freeman, that's just called retirement at that point. You're not holding out anymore. No one's signing you next year if they're not signing you this year. So I don't understand that logic, and it makes me scared to have him on my team. But yeah. All right, go ahead, Daryl.
All right, so I would then, with that being said, then I'd probably cut Freeman. I would try to trade Hill, thinking someone would believe in the skill set that he has and the designations that he's now going to get, first lieutenant, second lieutenant, and then I would hold on to Hyde.
Oh God, that's gross. That's so gross to have to hold on to Carlos Hyde. He's in Philly though, isn't he?
3 years ago, Carlos Hyde was the thing. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, he put up some good numbers.
Yeah,
2 seasons ago.
Where is he?
And I think it's
he's in I think Seattle side.
Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Seattle's backfield. Oh my God, what a weird place to be.
I could probably trade him to Mark right now, so I would.
You probably could.
Yeah.
He's in Seattle now, so I can trade him to Mark. He'll take him
as
long as he plays for Seattle.
At least you might get a pick out of it or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Mark, send that. When you're watching this, go ahead and send that trade offer, buddy. He's right for the picking.
Any difference, John, for you on this one? Are you keeping Taysom?
That's a tough one. I think the only guy with any like real current value though is Hyde, and so I think that's who I trade. I think I cut Taysom Hill because I don't buy him at all. But I also said that about Lamar Jackson, so take that with a grain of salt. And then I keep Devonta Freeman because I think he's got more value on my bench potentially than he would in free agency, where I think somebody picks him up and just benches him. So I think he's got the highest upside there. So I think that's what I do. I trade Carlos Hyde, I keep Devonta Freeman, and I cut Taysom Hill because I don't need a third string gadget quarterback on my team. That just sounds like a headache, man.
I think out of all these lists, this is the one that would be easy. It would be much better to make this week 6, week 5, like make this decision.
Yeah.
Because then where if Devontae's playing this year, what the rotation looks like in Seattle. And yeah, God, I mean.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Seattle piece is they're still not sure what's going on with Penny and Carson and who's gonna be available at the beginning of the season. And so
it seems like Carson and Hyde will both be back. They should both be back. Like Penny is expected to be later, but those two, unless there's complications, should be back. Then they got DJ Dallas they just drafted. So yeah, it's a weird backfield, man. But Pete runs them. I mean, that's what that guy likes to do. So, yeah.
Isn't it always a weird backfield in Seattle? Like, except when they had Lynch, it's always been just like, Yeah.
Yeah, since Lynch, have they had a guy like that since then? Have they had – Chris Carson should be. I mean, that guy, if he didn't occasionally have the fumbleitis, he was really impressive last year. All right, we're moving to Steve now. Mitch Trubisky. James White and Jamal Williams.
Where is Mitch Trubisky now? Did they cut him, right?
No, he's still
in
competition with Foles.
He's still in Chicago.
Yeah, I know they picked up Foles. I thought they might have cut him.
Yeah, they're keeping both of them for now at least. So, and they said that he is the starter unless Foles beats him out. So who knows what that means?
So he'll get beat out.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Who wants to start this one? Is this a cut Trubisky? Is there anyone who's not saying cut Trubisky?
I don't know how you can't. The guy's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if he starts, he's not starting on your team, right? I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's look at Steve.
I think if Trubisky does start, he's going to be starting like looking over his shoulder anyway the whole season. As soon as he like has a bad game, they're going to flip it to Foles. Even if he does beat Foles out, which I don't think he will.
So Steve is he's got Deshaun Watson, and then he's got Derek Carr and Sam Darnold are his other two. So, are you comfortable with a Watson-Darnold 1-2? I mean, Trubisky doesn't help there, I guess. Doesn't do anything different. So maybe this was too easy of a cut. It's Trubisky.
It's Trubisky.
Yeah, maybe it should have been.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's got Carr and Darnold.
Yeah.
Carr, Darnold, Watson. Yeah, Trubisky can go.
Yeah.
I think the challenge there is whether you keep White or keep Williams, because I think White has the greater value. But Williams, like with the what's his face that they surprise drafted in the second round.
Yeah.
Like that's the heir apparent to Jamal Williams by everything I've seen. So I think he loses a ton of value. If you're already cutting Trubisky, then you got to trade White or trade Williams, and I don't think you get much for Williams. I also don't really want him on my roster.
I don't know what you get for either of those guys at this point. I mean, again, with Brady gone,
yeah,
I don't know what they're going to be.
I don't know what White is going to look like without Brady. He's more of a receiver out of the backfield than he is a running back.
Yeah.
In that New England offense. So without Brady, I don't know what they're going to be able to do with White.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think their offense changes that much either.
This is one of those ones I throw out both those guys and say, give me a third-round pick for one of them. I don't care which one, whichever you prefer, and just see who bites on one of them. If anyone sees value, if anyone's running back core is that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say I'm going to keep Trubisky, but I don't really want either one of those dudes on my team. And Trubisky is younger, does have a chance still to be a starter, and I don't think either of those guys do. So,
but then he's also got Carr and Darnold.
Is this a cut?
Another quarterback.
This is just a cut. This might be a triple.
Hit them all. Cut them all.
Trade them all for a third-round pick.
Oh man, all three of them.
All three of them.
All three in a package deal for a kicker. I'm big on kickers now.
I like James White. I do like James White. He is a really good player. He is more system dependent and more obviously more PPR dependent. So okay, that's just a bench right there. But yeah, I didn't see anyone else I really wanted to include. I didn't put any rookies on this because that didn't make sense to do right now. Okay, Adam's next. Mariota, Jordan Howard, and Cameron Brate.
Mariota's on my Raiders.
Yes, he is. And Derek Carr is.
And I think Derek Carr's got a short leash, man. I think he's from Bakersfield, California, my hometown. He went to high school down the street from my house, so I'm a Carr fan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to school with his older brother, David.
Oh yeah.
He was a couple years behind me. I think they're all from my same hometown. So I'm a Carr fan. I want him to do good. He's a hometown guy, but he hasn't been able to put together a good season in about 4 years now. And I think Gruden's going to have him on a short leash. Mariota's got I think he's got a better skill set. I don't think he's an overall better quarterback out of the pocket, but I think his skill set may be more conducive to what John Gruden likes to do, and that's run the ball and play action and stuff. So I don't know. I think Carr may be on a short leash. So I'm thinking I might want to keep Mariota out of that group. I don't know. That's tough.
Adam's got a pretty weak quarterback too. He does not have a strong quarterback room. He's got some, he's got Teddy Bridgewater on there, but he's got Andrew Luck on there still. And let me see. What's he got going there? Yeah, he starts Drew Brees. So he's got Drew for this year. Then he's got, Andrew Luck, Teddy Bridgewater, and Marcus Mariota. So that might be a player you almost have to keep. Because I love Teddy Bridgewater, but he is not going to be a top fantasy quarterback. Not this year, and maybe not ever, just the way he plays the game. He's safe. He's got a lot of checkdowns. So, yeah, I would have trouble on Adam's team cutting Mariota at this point. So,
yeah,
for me, it's an easy cut. So Brate, I think it's Brate.
Brate,
I agree.
I would cut Brate just because you got Gronk there now. You've got Howard still there. I mean, he's easily third on the depth chart at this point, possibly. So I just don't. Outside of one of those guys, getting hurt, I just don't know. He really would just be taking up a spot on your bench, I think.
Did you guys hear Bruce Arians say that they're going to run base 12 personnel this year, so 2 tight ends as their base offense this year?
I also don't buy it.
I don't know. It freaks me out as a Chris Godwin owner because, again, that's a slot-dependent player, and I don't want them to run base, 12 personnel. I don't want that. And Bruce Arians is a great coach, great offensive coach especially. I can't imagine he has the weapons to not run that, and I don't think he should. But he did bring in Gronk when he already had Howard and Brate. So
yeah, that's.
I think that's off-season chatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Philadelphia actually ran the most 12 personnel last year, and they ran it 52% of the time. That was their base offense, and they were still only half the time. So,
well, then Philadelphia also didn't have any receivers last year. Everybody was dead.
That's true.
So.
That is absolutely true.
Well, okay. So who's the third receiver on Tampa Bay? Yep. That's what I got stuck.
Ronald Jones?
Was it Brashard Perryman? Or who was it? Brashard Perryman?
Perryman?
Was it? Oh, my God. Who? Wow, we all just got stumped by that one right there. All right. Now it's time to do a little looking up.
Yep.
Tyler
that was the final
question. They're looking at wide receiver 3 this year.
Maybe they asked Bruce Arians that, and he was like, he had the same reaction we did, and he's like, maybe we should run some 12. He's like, I don't remember that third dude. I don't know.
But I think the point stands, though. I think I still cut Cameron Brate just because that's still a third-string tight end. right? I mean,
yeah,
that's got to be like, it's so hard to just get like a top 10 tight end. I don't want the 40th, 50th tight end in the league on my roster.
True.
Yeah, even if they do run 2 tight end, he still won't be one of the 2 that's in there.
Yeah, and then there's always the possibility somebody starts having a great season and you could just stream him. And then, again, he's just kind of taking up a spot on your bench.
We got some Justin Watson and Scotty Miller. That's who they're rolling at 3 and 4 on their wide receiver depth chart. So,
nice. Is that basketball or football?
And Tyler Johnson. Yeah. All right. So, okay. What about Jordan Howard? So, you guys are keeping some of you are keeping Mariota. I think all of us are with Adam's roster construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then cutting, trying to trade Jordan Howard for something. All right.
Yeah. Although Jordan Howard also might be a wait and see.
I would probably try to wait on Howard. I think he's going to have a good year this year. I think.
Well, you guys can't choose that. You got to trade. You got to keep. You're already keeping Mario. You can't wait for Howard too. So you got.
Yeah, then I'll trade Howard.
I'll
trade Mariota.
You're gonna trade Mariota. Yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah. I expected it to be when I forgot when I even wrote this down what Adam's quarterback room looks like, and he's an old man Drew Brees away from Teddy Bridgewater as a week in week out starter if he cuts Mariota. So, and even if Mariota's there and he's not starting, so he's got to pick someone up. Didn't address that in the draft. I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah.
All right. Next is Daryl's team, and it's a trio of running backs. Matt Breida, Tony Pollard, and Benny Snell. So it's really like which backup running back adds the best value to your bench here, because these are 3 guys that they are 1 player away from a really huge role. Jordan Howard, I don't know if he's the starter in Miami, him or Breida. It'll probably be a pretty good split, but you got Zeke's backup, and you've got, I guess it's James Conner's backup, or Benny Snell might just get a lot more play than we think anyways. So what are you guys doing with that trio?
Well, as the co-owner of the team, I'm going to I actually
can you show on the line, see what she thinks of this choice? Is this co-owner?
I don't know if I'm struggling right now. I'm not sure if I want any parts of the Pittsburgh offense. I'm not sold that Roethlisberger is going to come back and be this, the piece that they were missing from a year ago. But I would.
Daryl, he was a $90 man in our league, so he's an expensive player to not have to leave.
I would probably, in thinking about my own team right now, I'm probably going to hold on to. I'm going to keep Pollard as the ultimate handcuff. I'll try to trade Matt Breida, and I will probably cut Benny Snell. That's what I would probably do.
Well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Breida's got the most value to trade right now, but you got Pollard as like one of the best handcuffs in the league, and Benny's a Jet.
Yeah, Benny the Jet. Yep.
But they just drafted who did they draft? Anthony McFarland?
Yeah, Anthony McFarland.
Yeah.
So I don't think Benny Snell has much of a spot right now.
Right, and the thing is, he with Connor having the year that he had last year, I don't know. I guess I was expecting a little bit more, a little bit bigger opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, and it didn't happen, and so that's how I would look at it.
Oh no, I don't like Pollard as because Zeke is durable. He doesn't miss games, and he doesn't give up goal line opportunities to anybody on that squad. So I don't know. I think Breida's going to have he's going to have a big season because he's a big out of the backfield. So especially in a PPR league like we have, I think Burrito's going to be able to put up some points. Even if he shares the backfield, he'll definitely be their third down guy. And I think he'll get a lot of catches out of the backfield and a lot of goal line opportunities.
Breida, I think, definitely has the best season out of these three this year. So this is more of a But the other question with Breida is it Patrick? Because that guy does, that guy's throwing 60 yards only. And so is it going to be him down there, or is it going to be Tua, who definitely probably would love a little check down Matt Breida to go to? Mark, go out with Mom. Come on.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Zeke is one arrest away from not playing, so that's why I hold on to.
Well, then too, like
one. That's true.
The only thing that's helping Zeke right now is the social distancing laws that are in place.
Yeah.
Because he probably be at a concert or something right now, beating up some security guards. So I'm just putting that out there.
Showing up at some random country concert for some reason, and what are you doing there, man? Like, this is the worst place for you to be right now. Don't do it. Yeah.
You got a point there. A point.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like, I fully expect Miami takes a running back in the first round next year. Like, I think Breida and Jordan Howard show themselves to be real great. I think Miami takes a running back early. Like everybody expected him to do this year. So I think Breida's value is running out.
Yeah. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. So I think I would keep. I think these guys questionable long-term value for all three of them. I would keep Breida for this year, and then probably trade Tony Pollard to the Zeke owner and cut Benny Snell. That'd be my preference here. So we got Phil next. Kareem Hunt, Kerryon Johnson, and Alexander Madison. I threw Madison in here because of the Dalvin Cook holdout news, particularly. So,
David, give me those. Let me get those names again.
Kareem Hunt, Kerryon Johnson, and Alexander Madison.
Yikes.
Yeah,
an instant cut reaction.
No, I was just thinking of Kerryon Johnson because he's still with Detroit, right?
Yeah.
I just gotta, it might be a residual Marvin Jones in that same universe. So that could be my initial thought to cut Kerryon Johnson. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't Detroit, they drafted a running back, didn't they?
Yeah, DeAndre Swift.
Second running back taken.
Yeah, really good running back.
So,
and they don't run.
I'm not sure.
Maybe they couldn't. I don't. Yeah.
So, but I think with like you said, with the news of Cook potentially holding out this year, Madison's value like skyrocket. So I would cut Johnson, and I try to get some value by trading Madison
to the Cook owner.
And and then I'd hold on to Hunt. That's how.
Sean, are you the Chubb owner in our league? Nick Chubb owner? Do you want Kareem Hunt? Do you want any part of that?
I think so. I think last year, after Hunt came back, they showed that, they can feed both those guys pretty well. So I think Hunt's got good value. I think Johnson's the questionable one because I like his talent more than Madison. But I don't like Detroit, and I don't like they just drafted Swift. But I don't know. Maybe I trade Madison, keep Hunt. I don't know, because again, I think Kerryon Johnson is a better future than Madison. But right now, if I'm doing this for right now, then I guess I would probably cut Madison, trade Hunt, and keep Johnson.
Wow.
Is that right?
I would definitely be trading Madison right now, like this moment. it'd be right this instant. I'd be trying to trade him.
I mean, this is the highest his value is going to be, but
Cook is also he does get hurt.
Yeah, but the new with the player agreement that they signed, like, means that you really can't miss training camp without like losing a lot of value or something like that.
Yeah, he'd have to sit out the entire year, and then he becomes a restricted free agent instead of a agent. So
like his value would plummet. It's not like holding out isn't a thing you can really do anymore.
Yeah, not nearly as lucrative. I'd probably try to trade Madison. The other two are difficult. JD, what you got?
I agree.
So, who's keeping Hunt?
I mean, if it's my team, I'd keep Hunt.
Yeah, I would probably keep Hunt.
Sean, you're keeping Carry On at this point.
Yeah, but if Hunt was on my team and I'm listening to trade offers, then I would keep Hunt. Yeah. But if I'm going off of Phil's team, then yeah, I don't buy the holdout. So I think I cut Madison, keep Johnson, and trade Hunt.
It's not important if you buy the holdout. It's important if the Dalvin Cook owner buys it. That's what's important. But Carry On definitely has like the best name on this list, probably.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carry On Johnson, DeAndre Swift. That's a great backfield name.
Swift Johnson. Sean's team is next. Sony Michel, Gus Edwards, and Latavius Murray. This was a weird one for me to pick. This was super hard for me to pick. I was listening to someone who thought that, Gus Edwards had a big role last year, did really well in it. If something happens to Mark Ingram, at first, he might actually be the go-to running back in Baltimore while J.K. Dobbins, since the whole offseason's been interrupted, getting used to the playbook. And then Latavius Murray down in New Orleans. Any New Orleans running back has some value. So what do you guys got for these three?
I'm listening to advice too. So I'm hearing advice right now.
You're hearing advice?
Yeah, hand it out, guys. What do I do here?
Oh yeah, this is Sean's team.
Yeah. So wait, who was the third guy? I heard Murray. I heard Edwards and
Sony Michel.
Sony Michel. I think I'm cutting Michel. I don't like New England right now. I don't even know who's going to be the quarterback in New England this year. So I'm cutting. I don't know. See if there's some trade value out there for Michel. Somebody might pick him up. No, I don't know who, but somebody might pick him up.
I guess. Is he their starter? He's their.
Yeah, I don't know what. Who knows what I don't even know what New England's offense is going to be.
Yeah, and they always have it's 1A, 1B, 1C. They don't have a starter.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm keeping Murray. I think he'll be the most useful this season.
Yeah.
Of the three. So I'd keep him. I'd cut Michel, and then I'd see if I get a kicker for Edwards.
I like another kicker. Got to load up for those kickers. Daryl has the Lawrence, but Jamie's really the one tanking for Lawrence at this point, losing for Lawrence at this point. Latavius Murray's he's always been good when he gets in. Always. I mean, he just yeah. I'm amazed that guy's never really had the starting gig. It's always a backup.
Yeah, it is crazy because he has had some decent playing time and production. So it is weird. Yeah, he's always backing up somebody.
Didn't he even back up Jerick McKinnon in Minnesota? They were kind of a 1-2 punch.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think well, I don't know how Sean's really looking at this, but it's difficult with the New England team right now. You just go of all the. I understand with the way everything is in the States right now, and there's not a lot of. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of news out of New England about what's going on, who's doing what, who's here, who's there. It's just an abyss. You just look down and you're like, what's going on up there? So I don't know if that doesn't hold a lot of confidence in wanting to hold on to them, because you just don't know what they're really doing up there. So to me, that might be.
Yeah, but New England's always been like that. They've always been kind of quiet about stuff, but you always knew you had Belichick and you had Brady, so you're going to have something going on. Now there's like, you don't know what the hell they're going to be doing up there. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
Jarrett Stidham. I mean, you just never know. I mean, did anybody really know, what Tom was going to do before he did it? So, who knows? Belichick might be that whisperer. So, yeah, Giselle.
Well, New England didn't draft a quarterback this year, right?
No.
Which is like one of the first years that they haven't drafted a quarterback. Like they draft at least somebody in second, third, fourth, fifth, later rounds, and this year they did not. I think that says something about what they see in Stidham.
Did they get?
Not that anybody else sees it, but
well, they were rumored to be in the Cam Newton sweepstakes, but it doesn't look like they're doing that. Some people thought they'd go back after Jacoby, but they haven't done that.
Which I thought that would have been a no-brainer actually. Once Rivers made the move to Indianapolis, and I thought they would have brought Jacoby back, but it just hasn't happened. So in regards to the cut and the keep, I mean the trade and the keep, I probably would hold on to Murray. I probably would hold on to Murray, and I'd try to trade Edwards.
It's hard for me I think Murray sees the field more than Edwards. At this point, I like Edwards better if he's on the field, but just because he's a little bit younger. I'm not totally sure about his age, but I think I'd also be keeping Murray here. Sonny Michel's tempting to keep, but I've had him on my team last year in our ESPN league, and I'm done with him. I'm done with that whole situation. So, yeah, he's getting the cut.
And that's you would think this would be the year they keep him. So Michelle. Because
you guys still there?
I mean, with a really productive year.
Well, that's
just like you say, you just don't know.
That's what I'm looking at. Is I'm in this scenario that I actually keep Michelle, because I don't think I'd get much on A, B, C, or whatever. But Gus Edwards, he's clearly the number 3 in Baltimore, so I cut him, and then I trade Latavius Murray. I think he's got the highest trade value right now, and the most I could get a return on him. But he's also not a guy that's gonna take you to the promised land either. So.
Okay, so next up we got Lucas's team and his 3 tight ends. So Blake Jarwin, OJ Howard, and Will Disley.
You got to keep OJ Howard.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, he throws to the tight end more than anybody in the world. Yeah, I would keep Howard.
I like Blake Jarwin.
Trade Disley to Mark. And then,
he would like to have Disley.
break him over to Coles for, a high draft pick or something. And then Jarwin would have to get cut.
How often it's just trade that guy to Mark. Seahawks, trade him to Mark. Yeah, I like Blake Jarwin, though, is the issue. So, he's young. He's starting tight end in Dallas. I'm almost tempted to keep him, trade OJ Howard, because I think other than Mark, OJ's got the bigger name, the more value, and then cut Will Disley.
I can see that because how Brady, he loves the tight end, so OJ could probably have a really productive year. He could end up like it could end up like a top 5 tight end if things go the way everybody thinks they will. So I could see that.
tight ends do have a tendency to break out later, the third, fourth year, so this would be, reasonable for his breakout time. All right, last one. We got Bert's team. Philip Lindsay, Mecole Hardman, and Miles Boykin.
Phil's team?
I don't know. I'm keeping Boykin. I think they don't have too many receivers out there in Baltimore. Boykin and Brown, maybe.
Marquise Brown.
A couple of cats. Andrews. Besides tight ends, they throw it to like 12 different tight ends they got out there in Baltimore. But I think Boykin's a keeper. I'm keeping him. Lindsey, there's just too many running backs in Denver right now. I don't know what his role is going to be. I think I would trade Lindsey. There's so many running backs right now in Denver. You really don't know what the back situation is going to be back there.
Which is similar to Mecole Hardman in Kansas City. He's my cut because it's like if Tyreek Hill had been kicked out of the league or something else, then his value is a lot higher. But as of now, he's my cut.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like his talent. I like what he could be, but they already have the position filled by a better player. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that wraps up.
I would agree with that.
That part 2 there. So now we're moving into the fun last part here, our draft, NFL quarantine. I did a little pre-thing, and the order we're going in is Sean, Daryl, me, and then JD. So we're going to snake it 4 rounds, okay? So, Sean, you have the number 1 pick again, which I was kind of like pissed. I almost wanted to reshuffle that since you had the number 1 pick in our rookie draft too. But you get to pick the first of 4 NFL players you're spending quarantine with, or former NFL players, or coaches, or analysts, or NFL personalities. Whatever is what we're going with.
It can be analysts.
It could be
I didn't know
personalities.
That.
Brooke says Joey Harrington.
I would have had
whatever.
I would have had Aaron Andrews or somebody.
Yeah, Aaron Andrews, the first overall pick then.
I didn't even think about women. What the hell?
Yeah, Aaron Andrews changes my whole draft.
Well, yeah, but I pictured them being in the house with Brooke and him. So I don't want, you never know.
You know what, Brooke and Aaron.
Well, exactly. That's a lot to deal with, though.
First overall pick, lock it in.
All right, what do you got? Do you say it, Sean?
I didn't know we're doing analysts. Good Lord.
Yeah, it just changes everything.
Yeah,
changes the whole board before this, but now
I think
it's
just personality,
ability,
players, personality. I don't know. NFL people connected to NFL somehow.
Aaron Andrews.
Can we?
You got Aaron? Wait,
can we pick? Can we pick actors or actresses that were involved in an NFL like movie or something like that?
No, that's a stretch. I think they have to regularly be covering or playing or coaching in NFL games.
Actual
any given Sunday. Like
exactly.
Well, no, I was thinking
Al Pacino or somebody.
Burt Reynolds.
No, I was thinking Keanu Reeves from The Replacement.
Oh yeah.
That involves wanting to hang out with Keanu Reeves, though. You want to hang out with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
That guy.
Right.
Okay, so it has to be paid by the NFL or a TV station. Yeah, this has gotten too confusing now. Should say no Aaron Andrews. That's just confusing this whole thing.
Yeah,
all right, here we go there. Daryl, did you have someone? Did you say someone?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. Actually, my list is weird in that the first real, like as a kid, football player that I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. And that would be Terry Metcalf from the St. Louis Cardinals.
Terry Metcalf?
Wait, who?
Yeah, Terry Metcalf.
Yeah. I had a
St.
feeling
Louis Cardinal running back. When I was a kid, man, that was, that was the picture on the wall, or
Now, how old is he? And would he be fun to hang out with now?
Well, he's got to be. I mean, you got to figure we'd be able to go to Perkins, get the AARP discounts, all that good stuff.
So. That's awesome.
Just to have a piece of my childhood back, because I mean, when he was on the team, they were the cardiac Cardinals because they were giving people heart attacks with him and Jim Hart, and all those guys, and they were an exciting team when I was a kid. So Terry Metcalf would definitely.
Nice.
I would definitely want to, hang out with him. Like, man, I remember I was a kid. He'd probably be like, yeah, I don't remember none of that shit, dude.
All right, so
that's my pick.
I had a list going that was like fun people to hang out with, and I realized that quarantine's not that fun. It's like it's really long. And the fun's going to wear off, and those kind of people get really annoying when things stop being fun. So I wrote a whole new list of just like the nicest people, I think, in the NFL. And so my first pick is Terry Crews because he just seems like a really awesome dude. So I've got Terry Crews as my first pick.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Your name in a second.
So last time.
All right, so JD, you got the turn here. You got 2 in a row.
Oh, man, 2 in a row. That's a tough one. All right, for my first pick during the quarantine, I think my first pick is going to be Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, he was on my fun list. I was
because that's the kind of guy. That's the kind of guy you want to be quarantined with. It's going to be like cocaine. It's going to be like women. It's going to be like food. It's going to be a party. That's the kind of guy you want
on my fun list. And I was like, man, that cocaine's going to dry up, and then it's just going to be like strung out Lawrence Taylor breaking stuff in my house. And
that's what you want during the quarantine. You want some action.
Oh, man. All right, who's your round 2 pick?
I'm sticking with the same theme for that. For those first 2 picks, I think I'm gonna go with Jim McMahon, quarterback.
He was
Chicago Bears.
Oh man, you're gonna have a crazy quarantine.
Yeah.
Already.
I think if you're gonna quarantine, you might as well do it right. Take some party guys and just go for it. I'm gonna take those 2.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. We got T-Rex here.
T-Rex.
My second guy I think would be really funny, and I'm glad I have Terry Crews around in case he gets angry to keep me safe. But I'm going to go with Marshawn Lynch because he'll bring the snacks. He'll have all the snacks. So and he's funny. He's a crazy funny dude. And so I've got Terry Crews and Marshawn. I feel like Terry could keep Marshawn calm too. I feel like he could like bring him down if he gets pissed about something. So, Terry Crews and Marshawn Lynch so far. On to Daryl.
Marshawn Lynch would he'd be definitely cool to hang out with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this next pick is gonna upset Mark, so I'm gonna choose the tandem of Russell Wilson and Sierra. I've been told they're package deal. So.
That's a smart dude. You can have some conversations with that guy for a long time, probably. He's a very intelligent guy. I'd get tired of his hair products, but he's probably clogging up the sink. So.
I'd probably be intrigued by their hair regimen, the 2 of them. I'd just be like, wow, really? That long, huh? Oh, my God. Yeah. Never would have thought.
That's me next then.
Yeah, you got the turn here.
I'm going with Peyton Manning.
He's on my list.
Peyton Manning just seems like a real fun, smart guy. Like I've seen him and Eli like pranking on each other. So I imagine Eli would come and visit too. But I think he'd just be chill. Like we just, drink beer and hang out.
Yeah, he definitely seems like the kind of guy who would just like to have a few beers, hang out, and go to bed at like 7:30 and just be really chill. So he wouldn't annoy you. It'd be fun during the day and then just like peace out and be done.
Yeah.
Go study.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's probably still studying playbooks. He doesn't even not playing, not coaching, but he's still studying a playbook every night just for the habit of it.
And he's the kind of guy that I would want. I'd want some fantasy advice from him too, like he
And he's got what is he? He's got Nationwide. Do they cover house insurance in case your house burns down?
Right.
So you've got Aaron Andrews and Peyton Manning. That's an interesting duo there. Yeah.
Pretty good.
All right. So then, who's your third, Sean?
I think I'm going with Jay Cutler there, another Denver quarterback.
Oh, no, Jay Cutler.
Jay
Oh
Cutler.
my God! What? I don't want to hang out with him in normal situations.
Here's why. Okay, Jay Cutler just seems like a guy who just doesn't give a fuck. Any given situation doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to see what that's like.
His balls would be on your leather couch, like they would all the time.
Good thing I don't have a leather couch.
With Jay Cutler living there, you probably do though. So
right. But then I got two quarterbacks like in Peyton Manning, and then I got Jay Cutler, which are just like two very different kinds of quarterbacks.
Can you imagine Jay Cutler hitting on Aaron Andrews the entire time though? I mean, relentlessly.
Yeah.
Peyton would be like, dude, you're stepping over the line, bro. You're stepping over the line. I feel like that'd be a hassle with those two in the same house. He just broke up with his wife too, whatever, his girlfriend, wife.
Oh, did they?
Divorced, so he'd be all over.
Oh, then I get single Jay Cutler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ready to party.
Oh,
that's right.
All right, Daryl, you got your third pick now.
Gronkowski.
Gronk.
I'd take him.
Yeah.
Good pick.
And are you sure his voice wouldn't just like drive you mad though?
No. Actually, I think I'd be all right with it. I think I'd be okay. But that's me saying this right now in this perfect vacuum that we're in. But
right.
There's always the potential. There's always the potential Brady's there because they're so cool. I'm looking at the ancillary pieces that'll all come together with it.
Oh man, this is
definitely down the party.
There's a couple guys I really want to go with here, and it's all about cooking. But I think I'm gonna go with Andy Reid because I feel like he would cook some killer barbecue. He's really funny.
Yeah.
He's kind of a prankster. It's not my first choice to go with here, but I think I'm pivoting and going with Andy Reid.
Okay.
So
the Walrus.
I don't know that I want him around the entire time, but I feel like he would have a great selection of beers on hand and would barbecue like a madman all the time. So, yeah, it's not what I thought I was going to go with there, but I'm pulling the trigger on Andy Reid. Okay.
Good move.
All right, JD, you got your last two picks here.
All right. For these last two, I'm going to go all the way out. And you can't have a quarantine draft without Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf. Boom.
What?
Ryan Leaf is currently in prison, isn't he? He just got arrested.
Yeah, I think he just went back.
Holy crap.
I think they released him. They released him because of the virus. The overcrowding. He needs a place to go. Might as well come on over.
Ryan Leaf and Lawrence Taylor are going to kill each other. Or Lawrence Taylor is going to kill Ryan Leaf. They're not going to kill each other. Lawrence Taylor will kill Ryan Leaf.
Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf. And we're gonna just talk about who is the biggest bust in NFL history.
Jamarcus is just going to be like kneeling in the living room, throwing footballs through the window. Just look how far I can throw this kneeling. And Ryan Leaf is going to do Lawrence Taylor's coke and get just killed immediately. So it's going to be that quarantine house is going to be destroyed by the end of this.
Hey, it's going to be a party. We're going to have a good time. Definitely going to have a good time.
Oh, there's a. All right.
We're definitely going to have a good time.
After we're done with this, we can go through some of the other names we had on our lists. What am I doing here? I'm going to pull the trigger on Michael Strahan because I feel like that dude is the kind of guy who wakes up at 4:30 in the morning and, like, makes you pancakes. You wake up and he's like, I got pancakes with that big old gap in his teeth, just smiling. He's got fresh coffee, grounded himself, making pancakes with fresh picked blueberries. That dude has it all going on in the morning. And he wraps up a very happy house that I think I have going on here with Terry Crews, Lynch, Andy Reid, and Strahan. So I'm gonna go with Strahan. I didn't like him so much as a player, and I don't like that show he's on. But I think he's a very positive guy. So he might be a little anal about the dishes. I could see him being a little anal about the dishes. So
that's fine. He's making you pancakes. You can do the dishes.
Exactly. If he makes the pancakes, I can do the dishes.
True.
Yeah. All right. So that's the end of my list there. So Daryl, you got your last pick here?
Oh man, actually, I have somebody on my list, and I'll talk about him, I guess, later. I think I'm gonna go with Al Michaels.
You're just gonna commentate everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Just as I'm walking through, as I'm cooking or taking the trash out, he'll be able to just break it all down for me. Plus, you got a pretty impressive.
He's personable. Any guy you can talk their entire game and have stuff to say. That's someone who won't get boring.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got to have some great stories too. So.
And you kind of got some younger guys and then you got two older guys in there that can kind of hang out with each other. So yeah, it'd be kind of fun to watch Russell Wilson throwing balls to Gronk out in the yard with Al Michaels kind of narrating it. So
calling it.
Yeah.
And see, yeah.
All right, Sean, who you putting with Jay Cutler?
I'm keeping my Broncos theme, and I'm bringing in Von Miller. He's just always happy. He's always having a good time. And you know what? I think he could really up my dressing game. He could really add some style to my life, and we could get along that way. I'd come out of quarantine totally different if my house was full of Aaron Andrews, Peyton Manning, Jay Cutler, and Von Miller.
Well, Jay Cutler would never leave. He'd be living there the rest of his life. He would be like, "What quarantine? I was just here for fun." So that guy's never leaving.
Which would be a great novelty thing, invite people over, and that's Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, what?
Yeah, that's the Jay Cutler. I know. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Who else did you guys have on your list that you didn't get to pick? Anyone interesting?
I would have went with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He was
that was
on my list. He seems like he would like to party. Just always doing something fun. We'd be tearing shit up outside, racing cars or doing something. I don't know, but be something fun.
Nice.
He was deep on my list there.
It's funny. I'm watching. We're watching the Titan games right now on Netflix. The whole first season's on there. So funny that it's a pretty good show actually. If you haven't seen it, just the athletic competition that The Rock created. I think it aired on NBC in the U.S., but it's on Netflix right now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that was like his Gladiator games, right?
Yeah. It's just like Gladiator.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Do you have anyone else, Daryl, on your list that you want to?
I had
thought about drafting.
I had Doug Williams on my list.
Oh, Doug Williams, that'd be cool. That'd be
classic.
I wanted to thank him. He was my first official NFL bet. He helped me win that when he won the Super Bowl. I want to have him over, cook him a pretty good meal, and be like, "Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you."
Nice.
I still got the $1 bill in a frame. Just wanted to let you know.
John?
I considered Chad Ochocinco.
I did too, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good one. I did too.
He, other than assaulting his wife, he just seems like a guy who's always been pretty chill, pretty relaxed. I'll never forget him saying he doesn't get in trouble off field because he just plays Madden all the time. And so I think I could play video games with him. If getting in or if playing Madden was illegal, then lock me up. But otherwise, that was of course before he assaulted his wife. But
yeah, I had Ryan Fitzpatrick as a possibility. Walter Payton. I mean, he's the Walter Payton Man of the Year is named after him, so I thought that's probably a good person to have in the house. Ed Reed.
Ed Reed's good.
First off, Ed Reed looks like he could sleep in a hammock in the corner. I mean, that guy doesn't look like he needs a lot. He's pretty chill. I feel like Frank Caliendo would be funny, doing all the voices of everybody else in the house. And then just for fun, I threw in Scott Norwood because You guys remember Scott Norwood? The kicker for the Bills?
Yeah, he was the kicker for the Bills.
Oh. Because I figured we could just blame him for everything. Just like blame him. It's like it's Scott Norwood's fault. So I went back to I don't even know what year, 91, 90, Scott Norwood. So
that was
Oh, and
90, 91. Yeah.
And Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald would be right.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald's on my list too.
Be a good guy down there. So yeah. All right.
That's that.
Well, cool. That was a good meeting. It's gonna take me a while to post this to the league. We'll see if any of them actually post the whole thing. But it was fun, guys. Yeah. Nice.
All right, guys. It was good.
It was a good time, guys.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay,
have a good one.
Bye.